Hi guys, this is another Assassin's Creed 4 multiplayer options tutorial, and this time I will be explaining the manual camera. The manual camera, some people have been asking, what does it exactly do? It's pretty self-explanatory. It's to turn on or off the manual camera. There are a few things I do want to go over for it. In this case, I'm going to be showing it off for the first part. And as you know, when the manual camera is off, I guess you can call it an automatic camera. It follows you as you're running. When you turn tight corners, the camera will follow you. You know, if someone's chasing you, then you could turn your camera back. It'll still stay there, but sometimes it'll just start turning a lot once when you make sharp turns, because the game probably wants you to know where you're going. This can be good and bad depending on the situation. If it doesn't turn, then you might accidentally run into a crowd or get yourself killed by another player. So I'm going to show how to manual camera off. I do like it when the manual camera is off, but there are some flaws that I will be going over very soon. So I'm going to be turning the manual camera on. The manual camera on, it stays pretty stationary when you're running and all. It doesn't, unless you make an extremely sharp turn, or maybe like a U-turn. Not even quite. See, I can keep running around this tree, and the camera will stay still. If someone's chasing you, you can keep an eye out on them. But of course, you just gotta watch out for running into civilians. Unless if you have the perk that lets you run through civilians. I believe that's unstoppable. I'm going to turn manual camera back on. I will let you know, I do think that manual camera, when it's on, the camera is a lot smoother. It doesn't move around so much and get really annoying. Okay, my game froze for a little bit. Sorry about that. See, the manual camera on, you can't circle around this tree. It will just keep going around like that. That can be good in some cases, but it can also be bad. Also, I forgot to show one more thing with the manual camera off. I'm sorry. Go through the menu again. When you use the manual camera, which is on, it just seems like when you can control the camera on your own, it just seems like it's so much more fluid. It just runs a lot better. Besides that was a mess up. Sorry for that. I feel that it's just a lot easier to maneuver with the manual camera. I'm sorry if I'm giving you guys a headache with this, but I'm just trying to show how the manual camera works on and off. Trying to do my best with that, and I think the manual camera is great, but I'm going to show you guys the biggest flaw for the manual camera in a second. Now, first, actually I'm just going to do it now. The manual camera, as you know, is on. Okay, if you use a chase breaker, door chase breakers, they're the same. They are the same. I forgot the actual name of it, but I guess I'll just call it the elevator chase breaker. It has a little cinematic. It always does that. I turned the camera, by the way. I was doing that. It doesn't normally do that. Now, here's the big downside for the manual camera. If you use the corner helper, as you see right here, you'll see something odd with the camera. It didn't turn completely, and it turned extremely slow. Now, that can kind of obstruct your gameplay a little bit. If you keep holding forward, it started shifting me diagonally, which isn't exactly the best. And the camera just gets a little bit wonky. That can be very bad if you're trying to get away from your pursuer. It's not as big of a deal in this game since they did take out chases and escapes, but it can still turn the tide of the match if you're playing Manhunt and you're trying to get away from your pursuer. See, I kept holding forward and she started going diagonally. And notice I'm not moving the manual camera. Now, I can try to fix this by turning the manual camera right with me, but that's what happens. I started shifting it towards the right, and it just like started spazzing out. Probably. See, the camera just starts turning like really rapidly, and that can mess you up. Now, if I turn it left, it's probably going to do somewhat of the same thing. Yeah, it just turned in a circle, like this way, clockwise. So, it's not even recommended to even turn the camera, because you'll end up jumping backwards. You just have, if you like manual camera a lot, you'll just have to live with it by using the corner helpers. Or there's an alternative. If you, right before you jump onto the corner helper and you press the gentle push button or the circle button on the PS3, you'll do a long jump, which is not affected by. Just had to get that out of the way. Although that was a very poor kill. So that's a huge flaw of the manual camera for corner helpers. And it has its ups and downs, but I personally think that the manual camera should be left off. If you do like the manual camera, there's nothing wrong with that. You could still manage to play very well in this game with it on. Now, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when the manual camera is off. When you're using corner helper, that's what it looks like. It turns a lot better. It just does that by default. This one doesn't turn that fast because it's not supposed to, but this one turns like normal for a typical corner helper. Now, with the manual camera off, you can turn the camera, but it'll start turning it after the animation is done. You can't turn it until when the cinematic is done. Whoops, I messed it right there. Chase breaker doors, no difference. When you take the elevator, no matter what, it's going to have the cinematic. I guess if anything that's different for a manual camera, you can start turning the camera a lot after you go up the elevator, but that's pretty much it. There's not really much to it. So, yeah. Just to sum it up, the corner helpers don't really make the manual camera the best choice. And that's it. Sorry for the long tutorial just for something so basic. But, I'll be explaining a few more things in the options in the next video. Thank you for watching.